Welcome to my $100,000 stock experiment, year 2, week 16, ending August 2nd, 2019. This isn't an endorsement to purchase any stocks that I bought, nor an endorsement to purchase stocks in general. I'm on a mission to become a great CanSlim growth stock investor. I'm learning and growing every week, and I'm sharing my stock journey with you. Watch me on my journey, learn from my mistakes, and celebrate my successes. I updated my sell rules again. I realized I was using a rule that I hadn't written down. For some stocks, I've been putting my sell rule 1% above the purchase price, so a gain doesn't turn into a loss. And then I added clarification to my gap up rule that it's 1% below the low of the day for the gap up day. In addition to using a floor and setting stop limit orders, I'm also practicing my portfolio management skills. I like to have a mix of up to 4 IPO stocks, 4 CanSlim growth stocks, and 1 prior leader poised for a comeback. I also have been trying out this buy 1, buy 2, buy 3. I'm not totally convinced yet, but I'm giving it a try and seeing how I like it. So for a CanSlim growth stock, my initial purchase is a $10,000 purchase. Actually, I do that for all my stocks, but then I can do a buy 2, which is $6,000, and a buy 3, which is $4,000. Now I'm going to review the general market conditions. This is the S&P 500 index, a 6-month chart. I use the S&P 500 as a benchmark to compare with my gains versus the performance of this index. I drew these blue and purple lines. These are areas where I wanted to see the S&P close above, and it did close above all of them, and then now it's fallen apart. Every day this week was a down day for the S&P 500, and on Thursday the market did go into uptrend under pressure, which means you should be clearing out any stocks that aren't performing well and thinking long and hard before you make any new purchases. The VIX, or Volatility Index, also had issues this week. It went above 16 and even on Friday hit 20. It did close the week at 1761. I like to see this below 16, preferably closer to 12. Now I'm going to review my chart annotation and show you how I typically mark up my charts. Number 1 is showing you the date and the price that correspond to the black dot at number 2, correspond to that day. Number 2 is showing you that price action bar, the red line. The hash mark on the left-hand side shows you the opening price, and the hash mark on the right-hand side, which you can't see here, but that shows the closing price. Down at the bottom, it's showing you it's a 6-month chart, and then it has the date range that it's showing that corresponds to that 6-month period. For IPO stocks, sometimes it will say it's a 6-month chart, but it may only be showing a month or 2 because that's the life of the stock. I add the green line to show the purchase price and a little orange box to show the purchase day. The solid yellow line is my 8% floor, and then the dash yellow line is the current floor where I've moved my stop limit order up to. I use several different moving average bars, the 8-day in the pink, the 13-day in the green, the 28-day exponential in the blue, and the 50-day in the red. The price that it's showing in each of those moving average boxes corresponds to that black dot that I'm showing over at number 4. So that's the day that it's showing information for. Here's my activity this week. I did sell 5 different stocks. I bought 3 new stocks this week, and I made 3 buy 2s. Now I'm going to review the charts for the stocks that I sold. ADPT, I held this stock for 6 days and I lost 4.5%, $453. Amazon also triggered my floor. I held this stock for 7.5 weeks and I had just about a 6% gain. I had 2 other buys in it, one with a 3% gain and one with a 0.7% gain. Fastly, this was an IPO stock that I bought last week and it failed. I held it just for 4 days and I lost my 8%. ATR, I had been holding this stock for a long time and it finally triggered my floor. I held it for just over 17 weeks and I had a 13% gain. GHDX, this was a mistake buy. I really like the chart. I didn't do much research on this stock and I bought it, and then I told one of my trading friends that I bought it and she said, oh, they were just acquired. Yeah, well, that stock's going nowhere. I sold it 2 days later. I took a 2.5% loss. Here's a current holding bar chart that shows each of the stocks that I own. Each bar represents 1 week. So Beyond and Enphase I've owned quite a while. GSB I've had 3 weeks, and the other stocks I've had either 2 weeks or 1 week. I look at the charts and then I rank them in order of weakest performing to strongest. It isn't necessarily the gain or loss of each stock, but looking at the chart, how it relates to the 28-day, the 13-day, and the 8-day moving averages. Now I'm going to review the charts of my current holdings. Chewy, this is my weakest stock. I just bought it 2 days ago and it hasn't taken off. When I'm buying it, I'm trying to buy it at a point when I think it's going to start going up, not when it's going down. And let's see, I left my floor at my 8%. It's pretty close to triggering a sell roll. I've held it for a total of 3 days and it's down just about 7%. PHR, this is another IPO stock that I just bought. It's basically holding its own. I've held it for 4 days and it's down 0.3%. Beyond Meat. This stock had been doing great and it has had a great run, 9 weeks, and it's up 92% for my B1. It did have earnings and it dropped below overnight where my floor was. And so it opened below where my floor was, and I didn't want, I canceled my floor, which I don't typically do, but I canceled my floor because if it started to go back up that day, I did not want it to trigger as it was recovering. It did recover, it held the next day, and then 2 days later it dropped again. So I don't have a floor. This is at my 28-day exponential moving average, and I'm going to wait and see what happens Monday to determine where I set my floor. GSX. This stock I've held for 1.5 weeks and it's up about 9%. And I have a buy one that I've held for 2 days that's down 2.4%. This stock is right at its 8-day simple moving average, which I think it's still a good position for it, but it has gone down the last 4 days. For my B1, I moved my floor up to my 13-day simple moving average, and for my B2, I have my floor at 8%. Luckin. This stock is stronger than the last one because it closed above its 8-day simple moving average. I have 2 buys in this stock. One I've held for a week and a half and it's up 5%, and one I've held for 2 days and it's down 0.4%. I did move my floor up to the 13-day simple moving average for my B1, and my B2 is at 8%. GSB, this is another stock that's screaming. It is above its 8-day simple moving average. I've held it for 2 weeks and a day and it's up about 41%. And then I have another buy that I have held 2 days and it's up 2%. I did leave my floor at my 1% below the low of the day from the breakout, and my B2 I put at 8%. Enphase. This stock had a gap up on earnings and then continued up. I have 3 buys in this. My B1 I've held just over 11 weeks and it's up 97%. My B2 I've held just over 4 weeks and it's up 50%. And my B3 I've held just under 4 weeks and it's up 45%. I set my floor at 25.97, which is just slightly below the 1% below the low of the day from the breakout day, which was 26.02. But I felt weird putting it at 26.02 because sometimes stocks hit an even number and then don't go below. So I put it a few cents below that, 5 cents below at 25.97. Here's my current gains for my B1 sorted with the losers on the top. You can see Chewy is one of my losers this week at $681, and PHR I have a $33 loss. It's showing just 1 bar because I've only held these stocks for 1 week. And down at the bottom, the 2 best performers are Beyond Meat and Enphase. On this weekly percentage change, you can see Beyond Meat had a horrible week. It went down almost 25% after having a 33% gain last week. Chewy was down 6.8% and GSX was down 1.6%. I need to watch those losers and take care of those, and then I'm hoping that the winners take care of themselves. Here's the industry breakdown with the numbers of buy in each stock. At the end of year 2, week 16, my portfolio is up $45,256 or 45% versus the S&P 500, which is up a little over 10% for the same time period. Last week I started tracking where my gains and losses were coming from week after week. This week I lost just over $2,000 in the stocks that I sold, the change of their value from last week to this week. I lost $1,200 in my new purchases, and then I had a $2,200 gain for my existing holdings. At the end of the week on 8/2, I have $12,776 in cash balance, and I can buy a new stock, I can do some buy threes, or I can do some buy twos. Thanks for watching. Keep an eye out for my next episode, or better yet, subscribe to my channel. Don't forget to hit the bell if you want an alert when I post a new episode.